Welcome to the WolfPack Sports Wire, a podcast from the athletic department at Whitefield Academy. Whitefield Academy is a Christ-centered pre-K through 12 college preparatory school located in Smyrna, Georgia. On this show, we highlight our hardworking coaches and student athletes who are excelling in and out of competition.
Hello and welcome to episode 1 here in season 2 of the WolfPack Sports Wire podcast. I'm your host, Jack Hunter. It's exciting to be back for another year of the podcast after a great first season last year. Thank you to everybody for your support and your listenership across our 21 episodes last year, going from August all the way to May and recapping a soccer state championship. We'll have head softball coach Mike Fuller on the program today as the team looks to build on its historic run last year. They made it all the way to Columbus in the Elite Eight. But first, we've got our head football coach Robert Walsh back with us on the show this fall. This week, the Pack head to Wesleyan to take on the Wolves in a Week 1 clash. Coach Walsh, it's great to be back with you this year. How have you been?
I'm good, man. It was a busy summer, and it's been a busy few weeks, but I'm excited about the season and excited about the work the boys have been putting in, and excited to be back with you every Monday here, Jack.
Yeah, it's good. We got a new space down here in the Learning Commons. If it sounds a little bit nicer, we got some good equipment down here, good soundproofing space. We got to get the AC rolling in here, and then we'll be really set. But it's been a good spot. Glad to be back. We talked a lot last year about this season last year, the momentum from last year, just the program taking a big step. So I don't want to talk too much about last season, but I do want to ask, do you feel like there's been some kind of momentum going into this season after the year that you guys had last year?
Yeah, I think the kids realize the new standard in which we want our program to be held to. But, every year's different. Every team is different. You got to figure out as a coaching staff what your team does really, really well and lean on that a little bit. This team's going to be a lot different than last year. So as a coaching staff, we got to do our homework and make sure we're preparing them to be the best version of themselves.
So you guys have been at work all summer doing workouts, 7-on-7. What did you see from the team this summer, the work that they put in to get themselves ready for this fall?
Definitely a bright spot over this summer has been Landon Ryan. His arm strength, his understanding of our offense, and the way he carries himself has been awesome to see. I mean, against Pace this past Thursday night, he had a great showing. He only had 2 incomplete passes on the night, and one of them was batted down at the line, and the other one was dropped. So he was pretty dialed in and did a great job with his legs as well. So I think Landon's poised to have a big year for us.
Yeah, we'll get to Landon in a second, but you mentioned the scrimmages. You guys scrimmaged both Lovett and Pace. The Pace one was more official game last week. How helpful were those scrimmages in seeing where the team is strong, seeing where you guys need to work on some things, and what did you think about the performances in them?
I think the 2 scrimmage format is extremely beneficial to a program like ours, especially being with Lovett, doing the 10-play, almost like a practice structure against somebody else. You figure out when you're hitting somebody else how hard you need to play, all those things, and I felt like we learned a lot from that first scrimmage going into our second scrimmage. I felt like our O-line play was a lot better. We have 4 new starters up there, and they did a really good job in the second scrimmage. And I think it's all just learning from game 1, bouncing to game 2, and now hopefully by week 1, we're hitting on all cylinders.
You talked about Landon. I've got a third-year starter coming back at quarterback. What a gift that is to have as a head coach. And you're talking about the progression that he's made with his arm, something we saw a lot over the course of last year too. What are really going to be his responsibilities this year as a senior leader, 3-year starter, in order for you guys to continue having the offensive success that you guys had last year?
We're going to lean on him a lot, his leadership and his knowledge of our offense, from pass protection to him being involved a lot more in the run game this year. He's put in a lot of work in the weight room over the last 4 years in our program, and I think he understands how to take care of his body during a game, even though sometimes during that Pace scrimmage it didn't really look like it. But that's who he is. He's a tough kid, and he wants to be a leader, and he wants to be an example of what our football team can be toughness-wise. So we're going to lean on him a lot this year. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if you look up by the end of the year and he's thrown for 2,500 yards and rushed for over 600 yards by the end of the season. It wouldn't shock me at all to see that.
Yeah, a lot of people on the outside may think to themselves, oh, you lose Rabelais and Shim at receiver, you lose Hollingsworth at running back from last year, 3 guys that were monsters in the offense, and it's like the offense may take a step back this year, but you guys have a tremendous amount of talent. I mean, you've got Landon coming back, as you mentioned, but then you've got a lot of playmakers on the outside, Ian Kelly and then Luke Linder, who recently committed to West Virginia, 2 guys that initially come to mind. What is the challenge for you as the play caller and as the coach trying to not change the offense too much, but also adjust based off your personnel to make sure your best players are getting the ball the most?
As a play caller, I tell people all the time, when you're trying to come up in this coaching ranks and you want to be an offense coordinator, especially at the high school level, think players, not plays. So in what way can we get Luke Linder the ball? What way can we get Ian Kelly the ball? And then what ways can we use Amos and Landon's legs throughout this season? Connor Booth has had a great offseason. I'm extremely hard on him. He's a sophomore now that's starting for us. Fisher Brantley's another sophomore that's going to see a lot of playing time. Miller Plyler is going to see a lot of playing time out there, as well as Graydon Dukes at receiver and Carson Lewis. So those guys will have a big impact as well. But as an offense coordinator, it's finding plays to just get the ball in your playmakers' hands and allow them to do what they do.
Yeah, and then on the other side of the ball, defensively, you guys also had a great year. Maybe sometimes got overshadowed a little bit by the historic offensive year that you guys had, but you guys have kind of a mix of some new players coming in, stepping in roles, but you also have a lot of experience coming back on some parts of the ball defensively as well. The varsity squad shut out pace in this scrimmage through the first few quarters. What were kind of your impressions of the defense coming into the year and the type of football that you guys are going to play there?
Defensively, definitely we're returning way more on that side of the ball than we are offensively, and I feel like the communication has become second nature to them, especially during our 7-on-7s. I saw a lot of growth there in the pass coverage. And then, of course, from Lovett scrimmage to the Pace scrimmage, same thing on the offense side of the ball, saw a lot of growth in the way we executed, ran to the football, and tackled. I tell the boys all the time, if we block really well, tackle, and run to the football, we're going to have a lot of success.
So you head to Wesleyan this week. This is a 4th all-time matchup between Whitefield and Wesleyan, the last one coming in 2023. Wesleyan's a good football team. Franklin Pridge has been the coach for a long time. It's a proud football tradition. It's a tough place to play on the road as well. What are you looking to see out of your team, and what are some of the challenges that Wesleyan is gonna provide for you guys?
You touched on a lot of it with Franklin being the head coach there for a very long time. They do a good job with their program. When you turn on the film of Wesleyan, you're always going to see 6'3", 220 pounds across the board on their O-line, D-lines. And they're always going to have some gritty kids that play hard, play physical football, and they're going to be in the right spots. They're coached up very, very well. I think that's always a good opening game, is for you to play a tough opponent, kind of find out where you're at. And our first 5 games are no slouches. So I feel like all these games that we're going to play before region play are going to prepare us for where we want to be come region time. I look forward to the opportunity to go over to Wesleyan. They always do like a big cookout and a big to-do for their opening home game. I'm hoping that we can go over there and hurt their feelings a little bit by the end of the night.
So X's and O's are in a game. What do you think are going to be the keys to pulling out a victory against a team like that?
Definitely our O-line play on the offensive side of the ball, making sure we're taking care of our responsibilities. Number 0 for them is a really good linebacker, very physical player. So we got to know where he's at all times and make sure we're taking care of him. But it's definitely going to start up front for us. As they go, we'll go. So defensively, I touched on a little bit earlier, just running to the football and tackling. In high school football, if you don't give up big plays, you're going to have an opportunity to limit the other team's scoring. So,
all right. Well, Coach, it's great to have you back on the show, and we'll talk to you next week, hopefully recapping a big win.
All right. Go Pack.
Now we are joined by fifth-year head softball coach Mike Fuller. The Packer coming off their best season in program history, a season in which they won 14 games and advanced to the Elite Eight in Columbus for the first time in school history. The team has battled the weather so far this year, but has gotten 4 games in the books, sitting at 3-1 on the young season, including a big win over Lovett on Monday night. Coach Fuller, it's great to have you back on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
So let's start there. You guys beat Lovett yesterday. So we're recording this on Tuesday. You guys beat Lovett 13-1. How nice was it to get back on the field? The weather has been kind of off and on. Get back on the field and get a big win like that.
Yeah, the girls played very well yesterday. We haven't been able to get like a good momentum and get in a good groove because it's been practice a day, off a day, or play a day, off a day. It's been tough. So I hope we have a lot of good weather going forward.
Yeah, and so last year, as I mentioned, introducing this, you guys had a big year and made it all the way to Columbus. We talked a lot last year about the season last year, so I don't want to harp on that too much because you got a new team. But do you sense that there's some momentum coming in this year from what you guys were able to do last year?
Yeah, absolutely. I always list goals for the team every year, and we go over those the first day of practice, really. And with the girls we have in the program now on varsity and middle school, Columbus is now an expectation. It's not just a goal. So, the girls are excited, and, they definitely want to get back.
Yeah, so last year, you guys graduated one of the most decorated, probably the most decorated player in program history in CC Springfield. So a lot of people on the surface might say, oh, well, you're losing your best player ever. Time to take a step back this year. But you guys last year and this year still do have a really deep team and a lot of talent. And so what is it like seeing, you got a new senior class this year, you got some freshmen coming up, you've got some sophomores and juniors that have improved. What is it like seeing the team as a whole improve and the team as a whole come out strong and kind of dispel the notion that, the program is just kind of built around one player?
Right. Obviously, you can't replace a Division I type hitter on a high school team. But in CC's first 3 years, I think from what I saw, the players relied on her 90% of the time, just as far as pitching and hitting to, hey, win ball games for us. Last year was the first team we had that bought into the team concept, like, hey, everyone has to contribute. And they did, and obviously we made it to Columbus, and that mindset is still going on today, so it's good to see.
Yeah, talk about the senior class that you have this year. You have 4 seniors, and it's a strong bunch, just like the group was last year. Strong bunch. You got kind of a really balanced group from freshmen to seniors, but you've got a good senior class this year.
Yeah, and Haley Holland is leading the way with that senior class. Just a very versatile player, and she's my leadoff hitter this year, doing a very good job. And we have Cease, Bella Vickery and Reese O'Connor. They did a great job for us last year in left field and right field, and I expect that again this year. And Emily Henry is finally being able to get on the field this year, so I'm really hoping she's going to be a good DH for us. And so far she's shown signs of that, so looking forward to see what she's going to be able to do for us.
Yeah, and so you mentioned earlier the weather's been tough with the rain, and then it's been super hot recently, especially this week. So you had a game that started at Woodward that didn't finish, but then you've had 4 games now that have gotten in the books, and you start region play this week. What are the impressions that you've had from your team so far?
They really love each other and support each other a lot. Anna Lynn Woods has been a big she's going to be huge for us this year. She's already, come in as a pitcher that's I feel is going to really help us in the playoffs down the stretch. And we've got Caroline Dickey that I think is going to help us hitting and or pitching as well. So just having that pitching depth is going to be very valuable this year. Yeah,
and that's something to give some context that's not always been the case in your tenure. Last year, you had more pitching last year than you did your first 3 years, and this year you added even more depth. How nice is that as a coach in terms of, your stress levels when you've got some depth instead of relying on just one pitcher out there?
It's it's great to have 4 pitchers, and I had much rather have the problem of trying to get them innings in rather than just having one pitcher or even just 2, because you're always, one play away from somebody getting injured. So it's great to have those pitchers in your back pocket, so to speak.
And over your tenure, every single year that you've been the head coach, you've increased the win total by a little bit from your first year up until last year. And so the program has seen a lot of growth since you started. When you take a look back at when you first started, just ahead of your first season, and now coming into this season, what do you think the big differences are in your program as you've gotten to build it over the last few years?
I think, and a lot of people ask me that question, I was the 4th coach in 4 years when I started. So I think just with the players knowing that, hey, I'm here, I'm going to stay here, I want to build a program. And once they saw that, I was going to stand by them and I was going to be here, help build a program, then that helped, them want to play harder and go out and get better. Because when I first got here, we didn't have hardly any players playing outside of school ball other than CC and 1 or 2 others. So we only have literally one or 2 girls in the entire softball program not playing outside of school ball now.
That's great. And you guys open region play tonight, Tuesday night as we're recording this, and you have another region game later this week on the road. What are you looking for as you guys enter region play? What are you hoping your team to improve upon, or what are you looking just for them to do in region play?
This year we're in a new region, and we've always been in the toughest region the past 4 years. So this year, based on history, we're going to be in a weak region. So I'm anticipating and hopeful that we'll go out and take care of business in 4 or 5 innings and get back home. Now, we will have tough competition against Trinity, who we play next Thursday. So they will be the only team in our region that will stand in our way of a region championship.
All right. Well, Coach, it's great to have you on, and it's great to talk to you again this year. I wish you guys the best of luck this year, and go get them.
All right. Thanks so much.
That'll do it for episode 1 of the WolfPack Sports Wire podcast. Thank you to Robert Walsh and Mike Fuller for joining me on today's show. It's great to be back behind the microphone, and it's great to be back at school for another school year. I hope everybody has had a great start to the school year, and everybody has a great weekend. I'm Jack Hunter, and I'll catch you next week on The Wire.